Yo, what's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Alex here. And man, I don't even know where to start with this one. Look, I'm gonna be real with you guys right now. This offseason, it's make or break. Like literally. We just wrapped up a 5-win season. We're watching our franchise QB rehab an ACL tear, and the front office is sitting there with some big decisions to make. And honestly, the fan base is done being patient. Here's what's going down. Our GM and head coach are staring at two completely different paths right now. On one hand, we got the whole let's be smart, build through the draft, manage the cap approach. On the other hand, Chiefs Kingdom is basically screaming fix this now or the dynasty is over. And you know what? I get both sides, I really do. Because here's the thing, we're talking about potentially investing heavy money in free agency to get our guy some actual weapons and protection while he's coming back from this brutal injury. But we're also looking at only $54 million in cap space and a defense that's aging out fast. So do we go all in on offense like the fans are demanding, or do we pull a 2022 and load up on defensive picks in the draft? Real quick though, if you're invested in seeing how this Chiefs rebuild actually shakes out, do me a solid and smash that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 100 subs and we're so close. Plus, hit that like button so YouTube knows you care about real Chiefs talk, not just the clickbait stuff. Because here's what nobody's talking about. This isn't just about X's and O's anymore. This is about whether we trust the process that got us 3 rings, or whether that process just died in Week 15 against the Chargers when our QB went down. So let's break down exactly what's happening behind the scenes, what the smart money says the front office should do, and what Chiefs Kingdom is demanding happens. Because trust me, these two visions, they don't exactly line up. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's talk about what the front office is actually looking at here. Because this isn't your typical offseason, guys, not even close. First off, we gotta address the elephant in the room. Pat Mahomes is rehabbing an ACL tear. Week 15 against the Chargers, we all saw it happen. And honestly, my heart sank. This is our guy, the guy who's brought us 3 rings. And now he's saying he wants to be ready for Week 1. Look, I love the confidence. That's Pat being Pat. 100% intensity, no quit in him. But let's be real for a second. That timeline? It's aggressive, like really aggressive. An ACL tear in mid-December and you're talking about being game ready by September? I want to believe it as much as anyone, but we gotta be smart here. And here's where it gets tricky for Brett Veach in the front office. If they knew Pat was going to be out for a significant chunk of 2026, maybe they'd consider tearing it down a bit, trading some big names for future draft capital, creating cap flexibility, basically punting on the season. But that's not what's happening. Pat's coming back. The team is building around that. So we're going for it in 2026, which means this offseason has to be perfect. And hey, if you're locked in right now and want to see how this whole thing plays out, go ahead and drop a like on this video. Seriously, it helps us so much. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? We're almost at 100 subs and I want you to be part of this community. Let's grow this thing together. So here's the plan, or at least what should be the plan. Step 1, go big in free agency on offense. Now, I know what you're thinking. Alex, we only got $54 million in cap space. How are we supposed to make big moves? Fair question, but here's the thing. There are ways to create flexibility. The biggest one? Cutting Juwan Taylor. That move alone frees up $20 million. Is it painful? Yeah, but sometimes you gotta make tough calls. And if Veach is serious about putting weapons around Pat while he's coming off this injury, free agency is where you do it. Specifically at running back. We need a true number 1 back. This committee approach we've been running, it's not cutting it anymore. Defenses don't respect it, and it puts way too much pressure on Pat to do everything through the air. The article mentions names like Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker III. Guys, if we could land either of those dudes, game changer. Breece Hall is explosive, can catch out of the backfield, and he's a home run threat every time he touches the ball. Kenneth Walker, downhill runner, physical, makes defenders pay. Either one of those guys takes so much heat off Pat, especially while he's getting his legs back under him. But here's the catch. Signing guys like that costs money, real money. And with our cap situation, it's going to take some creative maneuvering from Veach to make it happen. Now, the article also says we should not use our first-round pick on Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame. And honestly, I kind of agree. Don't get me wrong, Love is talented, but this isn't a deep running back class, and if he's already off the board when we're picking, we're stuck reaching for someone or pivoting entirely. That's risky. Better to get a proven vet in free agency and use that first rounder somewhere else. Step 2, load up on defense in the draft. Here's where things get really interesting. Our defense is aging, like noticeably aging. Chris Jones is still a beast, but he's not getting any younger. And if you remember 2022, we were in a similar spot. Defense losing steam, needed an infusion of youth. What did we do? We drafted 7 defensive players. And yeah, we had 10 picks total that year thanks to the Tyreek Hill trade, but still, we went all in on that side of the ball. And you know what's wild? Trent McDuffie, who we got with one of those picks from the Hill trade, is now being mentioned as a potential trade candidate this offseason. I mean, that's how fast things change in this league. One year you're a cornerstone piece, the next you're trade bait. It's brutal. But the strategy makes sense. If we're going to compete in 2026, we can't have a defense that's getting gashed every week. We need young, hungry players who can fly around and make plays. So yeah, I'm all for Kansas City repeating that 2022 approach and using most of our draft picks on defense. The offensive line is pretty much set. Our receiver group is young and developing, and obviously we got Pat. So the biggest need on offense is running back, which we're addressing in free agency. That means the draft should be defense, defense, defense. But here's the thing nobody's saying out loud. All of this, the free agency moves, the draft strategy, the cap gymnastics, it all works if the front office is on the same page as the fan base about what this team needs to be. Because right now, there's a plan being laid out by the smart football people, but there's also a whole lot of frustration bubbling up from Chiefs Kingdom about how we got here in the first place. And that's where things get real interesting, because what the fans are demanding might not line up with what Veach and Andy are planning. Stick around, because we're about to get into what Chiefs Kingdom is actually saying right now, and trust me, it's not pretty.